But I wanted to talk about the rural reporting plunge because I went on that and there was some funny stories about that. So what that is, Mikey already knows what that is, but I'll just explain it.
I don't know.
So it's this thing where they encourage most members of the Murrow College to go on this thing where they'll go to a random, or it's not random, but a small town either in Washington or Idaho. One was in Oregon actually, and like report on some news, find new stories going on there. And it's not mandatory to report on stories, but it's encouraged because that's the point, I guess. And you don't even need to turn them in anywhere. So it's basically just a free vacation. Well, it's not free because you have to pay for your own food, but they'll like reimburse you and stuff. I didn't eat much there, so I just like bit the bullet. I'm not gonna ask for my money back on that. So
What'd you eat?
I just ate I ate a chicken sandwich, and then I'll get it to why, but I was pretty.
But where? From where?
Chicken. It was like a sit-down restaurant. They didn't have any like fast food.
Oh, it's just a random.
Fried or grilled?
It was a fried chicken sandwich.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a beer there. That was cool.
Whoa!
Wait, so is there one in spring or is it only for fall?
I think it's only for fall. Although they're talking about, I'm not exactly sure on the details here, but I think they're talking about doing like a class where it's kind of like a class version of this project.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I would have signed up. That sounds fun. What city did you go to?
So we were assigned to my group, because you're in a group for it, to Plummer, Idaho is the name of it. But we drove through for like 5 minutes and realized it was not that great. So, I mean, no offense to the town, I'm sure it's fine, but we realized we were not going to get much material out of this. So we went to this place called St. Mary's. So I was at first not going to do this because I've been told about it like every year I've been here. And except for my freshman year, because I don't think I was part of the Murrow College then, but it's every year since, and I just never really wanted to do it because I don't want to write a bunch of stories, even though I work for the newspapers. That's kind of weird, but then I was just kind of like told by a lot of people I should do it, so I finally figured, fine, I'll do it. But I told at the newspaper office that I told the editor-in-chief, like, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I don't think I'm gonna write anything. I'm just treating this as like a vacation for a few days. And I don't even know if I'm going to try to write anything, so I just got to be honest with you. But I did end up writing something, but I'll get into that later. So it was the day after we did our show, so it would have been 2 weeks ago tomorrow is when we left, and sometime in the afternoon. And it was, I don't think they would care, honestly, because they're not listening, but I'm not going to say the names of the other people just because maybe they don't want me to. But there were people I knew, except there was this one guy I didn't know, but he was fine, so it's all right. And you had different tasks as well you had to do. Like there was a driver. Someone had to be the driver, which was not me. Thank God. I don't remember if it was you could say what you don't want to do or not, but I did not want to drive, so I didn't drive, luckily. And I was the gear manager is my cool title, which meant I got to watch the camera. Yeah. That was kind of cool.
No, I've never seen you drive. Are you good at driving?
I'm okay at driving,
okay.
But I didn't. But the thing is, you had to sign up for your role before you even knew where you were going. Yeah. And it could be as much as, I think our drive was literally like an hour and a half. So I'm not a good enough driver to where I feel confident driving for that long.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not. I think the longest I've ever driven for continuously is like 45 minutes probably.
Really?
No, it's been longer than that, actually. Technically, I think the longest was ever like an hour or something like that. So I don't trust myself enough to drive for an hour. And they said it could be as much as like 2 hours. So I didn't even know where I was going to go, or where we were going to go at first. So we went to St. Mary's, and I got to say, so first of all, it was the longest I've ever been in Idaho, because I've only ever really been in Idaho to driven through a few times. And so I'm going to say, first of all, about Idaho, and since it's like deep in Idaho and not just like Moscow or something. Yeah. I got to say, first of all, it is like the guns over there are like crazy. Like they sell guns at gas stations there.
Like a 7-Eleven or something.
Man.
I'm serious. Yeah, they sell, and it's because I've only ever been to 3 states besides Idaho and besides Washington, which are Oregon, because I used to live there, California, and I stopped over in Utah one time for like a flight. Or no, twice I did actually.
Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've been to Utah technically, but I can't really speak on what it's like because I've never been outside in Utah.
You're a West Coast boy.
Yeah. I would like to. I almost went to Florida once for like a trip for school, Florida's and then COVID happened, so that never ended up happening, unfortunately. And it would have been again in like Disney World most of the time or something, so it was not going to be a very well-rounded view of Florida. Yeah. So I could never, even if I went there, I couldn't speak on what Florida's like. So in Idaho, they sell I thought and maybe it's because in Washington, I think I've been to one place before that sells guns in the entire state. And in Idaho, They sell them everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And they don't even just sell like small. They sell like real like Kennedy killers in there.
Rifle.
Yeah,
Rifles,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like someone could like.
Let me ask you this: if you were to purchase one over there, which would you get, Josiah?
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about it.
Really?
Because I didn't see how much they were at first. And maybe I could buy a small gun, and I mean I don't know
Like
where I'm gonna assume. I don't know why I would jump to this crazy conclusion, but that the school won't let you keep guns in your room.
Well, yeah, it's a federal campus. I
That's
don't
what
think
I
they
did.
want. Yeah, no way.
So I didn't know what I was gonna do with it.
Yeah, you can't really keep it.
I guess I
anywhere.
assumed I would just keep it like hidden somewhere. But the thing is, that would be okay. But then if someone like checks my room, and the
Yeah.
funny thing is, less than a week later, for an unrelated reason, I did have someone come into my room because I needed something checked.
Yeah.
And if they saw a gun in there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that would have ended like great.
Well, you could have kept it at your house. You just visited your house, right, for your bubble bath.
Yeah, I
You could have brought home
but I
your
was
handgun.
That is true. I guess I didn't think that far ahead what I would have done with it if I bought it. But then I saw a small, I wanted to buy like a revolver or something because that's like
A
the
full-on revolver. That's a good choice.
That's very
Yeah.
Idaho-y.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because that's the kind of gun James Bond has. Those kind of people.
I just could not see you packing a revolver, man. Like you just
You
want it in your waist. Yeah.
What if I bought one? You bet your ass I would have brought it in the studio as like a
You
bit,
put it on
know?
the table.
Yeah, it would just be on the table. And if we're disagreeing about something, like, oh, are you sure? You sure you want to
Yeah, you're just gonna look
not
at
take
it.
my,
You seem to me more like a kind of a Glock guy. I don't know why. I think it's the jacket,
Oh, well,
the leather jacket.
I think Austin's more of a revolver, right?
Yeah. I could see Austin.
Because Austin, he wears a suit all the time now, so he is like James Bond.
Yeah.
Like he has one of those underarm gunslings.
Yeah, I
and
feel
can
like
just
he
reaches
wouldn't
in,
even
whips it
be
out.
concealed. It would be open
Yeah.
carry with him.
Yeah, I mean Austin, if he was here, he'd just
Shout out
he
Austin.
would put the gun on the desk, and just
Yeah, he's done that.
and he
Actually.
wouldn't do it as a threat. He would just do it as he's talking about whatever, and then
Yeah.
he just has it there. So, yeah. So if he has a gun, then whip that out, boy. Come over here and whip it out.
Okay.
There. So
But anyway.
so back to we were talking about the gas station guns.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it and I was thinking, maybe I could buy one, and then I saw the price and it was something like $450 for a
yeah.
gun.
Yeah, around 500 for a good one.
So I assumed it would
Well-
be, because I know nothing about this, 100 at the most.
Well, so wait, are you were looking at the handguns or
Yeah.
rifles?
The handguns. I
Oh,
was gonna buy
handgun's going to be more than 100. A good one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and I know that now, but I don't know. I assume probably it would be over 100, but I assume
Yeah.
maybe like 200.
Yeah.
And if it was that price, honestly, I would have bought one.
Well,
And
yeah,
I-
it's more like 300.
I don't know if they would have reimbursed me for it, but
I don't think
you
so.
could have asked the Murrow.
yeah,
college.
people were getting reimbursed for stupid. I think people were getting reimbursed for like beers and stuff. They
That would
got
be
there.
awesome. You should somehow write an
Beers or
article on it
guns?
and be like, yeah, I had to get this for my article.
Yeah.
My revolver.
And honestly, I could have done that, and I'll explain why. I'll explain why at the end, but I think I might have been able to pull that off.
yeah.
Well,
I
if it
think
was
you could.
the main reason I think I couldn't is just 'cause of how much it would have been. If it was cheaper, I definitely could have. I think.
But do you think your group would want to drive home with somebody who just went
Well,
to the
he
gas
doesn't have to
station?
tell him.
Well, they would have probably. Well, the thing is, the group. I didn't really make this clear, but the group was pretty much staying together the entire time, so they
Yeah.
knew I was thinking about it. So, and I think
You
they
were
would have.
thinking about it.
And okay, that would have been the craziest thing anyone bought there if I bought. But people were buying like clothes and stuff. I don't know why I bring that up. But it's a
That's
good
not like a
comparison. That's not a good
revolver.
comparison. But I'm just saying people bought stuff besides just food. I don't think they were looking to get reimbursed for that.
Yeah.
But some people were getting reimbursed for. I don't know if they actually got reimbursed, but they were looking to get reimbursed for beers and crap. So
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think like the gun would have played a part in an article I would have written. So I think it wouldn't even been the dumbest thing you could have got reimbursed for.
Was this overnight? So did you stay at a hotel?
Yeah, it was overnight.
Okay.
So, moving on from the gun thing, the only other thing I really noticed about Idaho that was interesting was that it was kind of like Western Washington, where you guys have both been to Western Washington. Well, obviously Jack has because I've been there with him, and Mikey, you've been to Western Washington, right?
Yeah, I lived there.
Oh yeah, I've heard that you told me you lived there before, and I think Dougie lives there too. So
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
kind of know Western
He's a
Washington.
Bellevue boy.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gave away where he lives. People are gonna find him now.
I did give his address.
Yeah, he's there right
253.
now, and he said, "Don't give it away." So,
No,
all
he
right.
didn't.
Yeah, he said that. But anyway, there are it's a nicer environment than this part of the state, in my opinion, because it's like all plains and stuff right here, and in West Idaho, it's like a lot more like tree.
Yeah.
There's a lot more trees.
It's more green.
Yeah. And so that was, oh yeah, and by the way, one other thing I noticed about Idaho that was pretty funny, like deep into Idaho, which I kind of expected, but I didn't know, which is there was like a lot of like Trump stuff there. Like it was like, and it was like kind of funny, like
it's
because
a red state,
there was a lot of it. And I'm not saying, like, I expected that because it, like, yeah, it's a red state, but I didn't expect as much because I guess like Washington's technically like a blue state.
Yeah.
Although it's really not like Washington's not really as liberal as people think it is when you think of it, because it's only like there have been times it's been close. That's not even that long ago. It just usually happens to vote like Democrat, but it's not as liberal as people think, I don't think. But
yeah, I think people just take the final result as like, oh. Like,
yeah.
They just that's what they take
in
from
the
it.
presidential race, it usually is like votes for the Democrats by like 10 or so %. But in the governor race, like not even that long ago, in like 2012, I think was the last time, it was like the closest governor race in like the country. So it hasn't even been that long since we like could possibly have a Republican governor. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. Idaho, I think, is a lot more like it votes for the Republicans and by a lot. Yeah. So Idaho, I didn't really expect that, but it was kind of funny that it was like everywhere. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect, but again, it's partially because I barely have left like because most of the West Coast states are like Democrat states. Yeah. So
blue.
Yeah. So anyway, off of that and like the general observations of Idaho, so we did stay in a hotel, and the kind of funny story was, so we went to a bar that night. Because the first day we decided we're not going to do anything because we just wanted to come to the town, like check it out and all that. So we went to a bar that night, and there were this group of the craziest, I guess I'd call them northern rednecks is the term I'd use for them there.
Yeah, like cowboy rednecks.
And the funny thing is, they were like they weren't rednecks where they were like older, like in their 40s or 30s, like you might assume. They were maybe 5 years older than us at most.
Yeah.
So. They were probably about Jack's age, honestly, because Jack's a bit older than
23.
Yeah, you're 23. I'm 22. There's a really big difference between.
I think it's just the beard.
Yeah, Jack, he pulls off a beard pretty good. I could not pull it off as well as he did.
I like your beard. I like your facial hair. I do.
I don't have a face.
Sometimes you pull it out.
I don't like it, but I appreciate it though.
I like it.
I'm the only one here who can't rock a beard, unfortunately.
I think you could rock a goatee though.
I do too.
Well, that was what I had. By the end of the year, that was the last facial hair I had. By the end of the year, I was kind of doing that. Now I don't have one anymore. Sometimes I think about bringing it back, but maybe one day, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so these, there's a group of maybe 4 or 5 of them, with their like some of them were married with their wives, and one of them comes up to me, and he's clearly just like pissed to drunk, and he comes in and he says, "Hey, I heard you have weed on you. Would you like to? Is that true?" And he said, "Well, are you a cop? Are you a cop?" He says that first. And I said, "Well, I'm not a cop, and I don't have weed. I'm sorry, bro."
Who told him that? Do you think he just made that up?
I don't even know where he heard. I think
he looked at you and was like, "This guy's got some weed."
Yeah, and so I said no, and he said something. "Oh, don't worry, I have it, so it's okay. I'm not like a cop."
Because it's illegal in Idaho.
Yeah, and he pulls out his little weed vape, THC vape.
Yeah.
And he kept saying it to me over and over. And I'm getting pretty annoyed because we're not doing anything at this point. We're just standing around like drinking. But he keeps saying it. And I thought one time would have been enough. So eventually I just say to him, "Okay, fine, you got me. I'm a cop." So
you told him.
And I think he was drunk enough to fall for it. He was kind of like looking around. And then one of his his buddies comes in, bails him out. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, he's not he's just lying. You look at him, he's not a cop." I don't know what he meant by that.
Maybe it was your jacket. Were you wearing your jacket?
Yeah, I was wearing my jacket.
You look intense there. Yeah. So maybe it was.
I feel like he knows I couldn't be a cop because I feel like I don't even look old enough to drink personally. So I think I don't know how much training you have to go through to be a cop, but I mean, if I was like the active cop in the bar, I would not feel safe for anyone's life because I'm not guarding anyone's life, sadly. So he keeps going and going on about it, and then eventually he's like, "Okay," and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I'm gonna just ask you one more time. You can be honest." Because he keeps going on like, "Oh, no, you have weed, bro." You're like, come on. If you don't want to share, that's okay. Just tell me. Yeah. And I keep saying, "No, I don't have weed, bro." So he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, "Just be okay. Look me in the eye. Do you have weed on you?" And I'm looking at him in his bloodshot eyes, and I tell him I don't have weed. And so he finally believes me. Yeah. So they all leave except for this one guy who's married, and I know that because that's going to be relevant later in the story. And we're playing like pool at this point. I'm completely blowing ass at it because I've never played pool before. And he's, watching, commentating on the game like some sort of discount sport commentator.
Discount Austin.
Yeah, Austin would put this guy to shame if he was there. but Austin's too much of a respectable human being to engage with these people. So he, no offense if he's listening right now, I'm sorry. But and then he finally says he comes over again when we're like nearly done, and he's pointing to his wife and he's saying, because I was kind of afraid because there were like women in our group, and I was kind of because these redneck guys, they're gonna like start trying to like say some crazy crap or whatever.
Yeah.
But he says, oh, man, there's my wife over there. He points her out. And he's, like, the drunkest I've seen any of these guys. Like, I think he was, like, 5 seconds away from passing out. And it seems like he's friends with the person who runs the bar because he's, like, I think he's almost even, like, sitting behind the bar, really. And he says, yeah, she's a good girl. And he says, she's very sweet and nice. And he says something like, she cooks well. And then he says... And I'm not going to say the word he used. And she's got a tight and start.
Whoa!
And I'm gonna end there. You know what he said next. Yeah, there you go. And then.
Yeah.
And I just say to him, congratulations, because I don't even know what to say.
Congratulations! Did you shake his hand?
I didn't shake his hand, but I
high five him.
My goodness, sir.
And then, but he kept asking if me and the other guy in the group were gay, and he asked if the girls were lesbians. He kept asking that. And I kept saying no.
Asking it.
He kept asking it.
These guys, like, they're pushing stuff out. They keep asking the same question.
Yeah. And because I'd been drinking at this point, I don't really know. I didn't know this was a bad idea at first. So I say to him finally, I'm not the other guy doesn't want me to tell you, but yes, I'm gay. I tell him
You just give in to them.
Well,
like, yeah, I'm a cop. I'm a gay cop.
I'm a gay cop, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a gay cop in Idaho. And I didn't know what to think because these type of guys are like the type of people who will freaking...
Well, they're drunk, right?
Yeah, they're drunk, and they're the kind of guys who say, we don't like that in these parts, boy, and like tie you to a cross and stab you.
Oh my goodness.
So at first I'm like, okay, was that a bad idea to say that I'm gay? And then he says, oh no, that's okay, buddy. There's nothing wrong with that, Don't worry about. And I say, I say to him because I'm just playing along with him. I appreciate it because I don't hear that enough from people, so I really appreciate. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, don't let people tell you that's bad.
Oh man, he's based. That's great.
Yeah, that was nice of him,
Wow.
And so then we leave, and I say to him, because at this point I know I'm never gonna be back here again, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I just yell to people in the bar like, "Thank you, my friends, I love you," and then we leave. And at first I thought we were gonna go back to the hotel because it wasn't that late. It was like 11 p.m. at this point. But they wanted to go to a different bar, and I think it was partially because of those guys. And by the way, I as well mention shout out because this was a good idea, but I just didn't want to do it. The other guy in the group brought the idea because these guys, a lot of them were loggers, and they were thinking maybe it would be a good story because they kept talking to him because he was kind of trying to like talk to them like a normal person.
Yeah.
And that maybe would be a good idea to do. They felt they were being like screwed over by the logging industry or something. Or something like that, and maybe they'd be good people to interview. Yeah. And I say to him, look, that's a good idea for like an informative piece, but I never want to talk to any of these guys again. I'm sorry. I don't care if they're sober or whatever.
After the things they were getting you to say, man.
Yeah, and it's not even like really a condemnation of them as people. It's just, I just don't want to see them because they think I'm gay and they think I'm a cop. So, I mean, they were nice about thinking I'm gay, So that was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how they take about me being a cop if I like went into their house and saw all the weed they have in there, but because it's illegal in Idaho.
Yeah.
And so we go on to the next bar, and I thought it was pretty funny how we kind of blew those guys off because we're never going to see them again. About 20 minutes later at most, the entire group of people goes into this bar now.
Whoa, they're bar hopping, yeah.
And
well, it's a small town, so.
Yeah, and we only went to the one next door to it. There was another bar literally like next door.
They just walked across.
Yeah. So that was fun, to see them. Although they were, I think, drunk enough that they didn't even say anything to us this time.
They didn't
recognize us.
Oh, it's a gay cop.
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, what if they come up to us and they're, oh, well, you only left because they seem kind of, and I feel bad for them for this, if this is actually how they are, because this is like sad, but they kind of seem like maybe emotional, like they might think we're like rejecting them or something. And I was ready to say, okay, I have to be honest with you guys, because they were believing everything I said. We're members of the CIA, and we're looking for terrorist suspect Obama Zin Zardin or something. And we have intelligence. He's in this town.
I could see you delivering that perfectly with a straight face.
I think they would have believed it. I mean, if I was like insistent upon it. So.
Well, no CIA agent would just tell you that.
But what if I
guess
felt
they are really drunk? But
yeah,
there's no way.
I didn't know the CIA agent wouldn't say that. So
the CIA is like known for secrecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then. I guess they wouldn't have fallen for that. They did seem pretty. They seem pretty smart, all things considered. So
yeah.
So we left after that, and I was pretty drunk at this point. So We all I don't really remember the end of the night, but it was okay.
That's a good night.
And then the next day I barely ever like get full on drunk really. So the next day I like had it wasn't like really bad, but I had like a small like hangover because I just had a headache and I didn't want to eat anything. But I still did the project because we did actually get a story kind of, because we went to this like museum of the town, and that was not. I mean, it was not.
Was it pretty small?
It was pretty small. It was like the size of a house basically,
Yeah.
and it was more like a museum of just random. I mean, I don't want to say random, but like things that were donated to them. And it was a nice museum. If I remember the name, I would shout out them too, but I don't. So it was pretty cool. You know, I'm sure if you just look at like St. Mary's Museum or something, you'll find it. And it was cool, you know. Although the two girls in the group actually were the ones who basically wrote that story. I think I asked like 2 questions during the interview, and that was my contribution.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the guy in the group took all the photos, so he contributed something. I by far contributed the least. But I thought at first, you know, hey, you know, we can put all our names on this. But then also I realized that would make me like a complete ass to suggest that, because I did the least out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but I did end up coming back with a story kind of, which is I wrote a story about, I wanted to know, is there anything different in Idaho you have to do to like own a gun than in Washington? Because there seem to be so many gun places that like there has to be some sort of legal difference in like what states have to do to sell guns.
Yeah.
And so from what I understand, actually, now that I've written that story, it was published actually. The Daily Evergreen did a thing on it. There actually isn't, unless I got like my information wrong, which is possible. There's not really a difference in how you can set up a store that sells guns. It's just about like where you can, how you can buy a gun. In Washington, it's harder, which you would probably expect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's the story with the rural reporting plunge. I kept typing that up like that was the reason I wasn't doing the show last week, but it actually wasn't, because I would have still done the show last week I was so drunk that I couldn't do the show a week from that, unfortunately.
Classic Josiah show moment.
A classic.
Yep.
So I would recommend people do it as long as they're like, you probably should be more committed than me, because I was not.
Buy a gun?
That, and then also to like to write a story, because I did end up writing a story.
I see.
Yeah, I did write a story. It's just, you know, you probably, well, you should, I guess, I mean, they're not telling me to do this, but like I can never do it again because, well, it sounds like I got banned. Like, no, I didn't get banned. I can never do it again because it's too late for me now. This is like my last time I could do it. But that's a cool thing, you know. You should do, if you're interested in like journalism, you should do it.
Yeah.
And most people came back with like how would I call it, professional experience than me.
Yeah.
So
more enriching.
Yeah, more enriching experience.
Well, that's awesome. A round of applause for Idaho.
Oh, thank you. Round of applause for the great state of Idaho, people. Yeah, there you go.
Woo!
Yeah, Idaho. I mean, it's a nice, you know, depending on where you go. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, and it's not because of St. Mary's. St. Mary's is fine as a town. I would not like go to Idaho a lot just because it is kind of, you know, there's a lot of crazy people there. But I would say, you know, it's not a bad. Idaho is like a decent state. You know, it's a long state.
Yeah, I like Idaho.
Yeah, I mean, when I've been there, I never had like an overall negative experience in Idaho, because that was kind of, if I'm gonna be honest, that was kind of a mixed experience, because some of those guys are pretty annoying. Not the people in the group. The people in the group were fine.
With the bar, the drunk
Yeah.
guys. I mean, drunk people in general.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't blame them too. Maybe when they were sober and just stoned, they would be more easy to get along with.
Sober and stoned.
Yeah.
Stoned in Idaho.
Yeah, because the guy who was asking about weed was clearly already like baked. So
Yeah.
But, and that was the other thing. Why do you need any more, dude? You already got some, and you feel pretty comfortable just pulling that out in public when it's like illegal. But all right. So yeah, props to Idaho for, you know, being a wonderful state. What's the gem state or whatever, the jewel state?
I don't know.
That was Potato State.
Well, that's what it
known for
actually is. But
potatoes.
the official state nickname is like the Idaho. I mean, not the Idaho state. The gem state, the jewel state, something like that.
The Emerald City.
Yeah, the Emeralds. Yeah, the Emeralds. Isn't Seattle like the Emerald City?
Well, yeah, that's the Christian line.
Oh yeah, I
That's
forgot.
like a casino or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Christian, we're gonna get to that in just a minute.
Boy.
Yeah, of course. I'll have to explain that to Mikey because he wasn't here on the show when we did that. Yeah. But and then I'll say one of the real reason I wasn't on the show last week was because I could have. I was still in town, so I technically could have done the show. I didn't because I was leaving town the next day because it was my birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
So I left town to go like celebrate that. Well, not on the actual day because you know,
with the bubble bath, right? You went home.
Do we need to sing you a happy birthday song right now or no?
It's too late.
Not a good time.
I appreciate it though. Thank you.
It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, it's war. I don't actually do anything for my actual birthday, so.
Oh really?
No, I don't.
Well, we're gonna have a party this weekend. Don't worry about that.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the group.
It was my birthday last week, Josiah. So yeah.
It was your birthday last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack said
So
that
we
we're
missed
doing
too.
like a whole we're going to Safeway when
gonna get a
Austin's
cake.
here.
All right, yeah.
Because
let's
Austin's
do it.
coming tomorrow too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you know it's Austin's birthday tomorrow?
No, it's
Actually.
No, I just made that up.
Okay, dude, you got me way
do
too
a
excited
group-
for a second. I was like,
group
yeah.
bubble bath.
Yeah, group. Yeah, we should take a bath together. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we all?
Photo
fit-
will be posted on.
I don't. What is your bathtub look? I haven't seen. It's gonna be. First, it's gonna be in your bathtub, right?
Oh,
At your
Do you have a
That
bathtub?
thing is too small.
I don't have a bathtub, so
Dude,
at my apartment. So.
Nothing's too small for a bathtub.
For real, yeah. Have you tried cramming people?
Stack it up.
Yeah,
Like
have you
some
tried?
pancakes.
we could do
and
we could do a thing where one guy faces this way, the next guy faces that way with the
Like
legs.
Jenga.
Yeah, like Tetris, you know, trying to fit everyone in there.
We only need to fit
Lincoln
5
logs.
people.
Yeah, we only need to fit 5 people. What, the three people who live in your apartment haven't had a bath together yet?
No.
That's like a. That's like
Talking
a.
about no, you can't.
How have you not?
It's me, Doug, and no. Anyway.
All right, we're,
New subject.
Moving on.
all right, we're moving on from that.
Mikey is dying.
But yeah.
Anyway.
But now I'm just kind of before we go to the Christianity, I'm just curious. So what day is your birthday?
October 9th.
October.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
You gotta
dude,
Take
it's
a
just-
breath, bro.
Is it-
Open a window.
wait, what year? What year were you born?
2001.
You were born in 2001?
Yeah, I took a gap year, so that's why I'm still in school.
Oh, okay.
I
So
should have
I'm-
graduated last year.
I thought I was older than you. I don't know why. I thought you were 2003.
I act
2000,
younger than
man. I'm
myself.
2000.
Yeah. What day were you born in 2000?
December 27th.
So you don't get anything for your birthday. 'Cause
Well,
it's-
yeah,
it's-
my
Your birthday
older,
is so forgotten, probably.
My older brother used to give me just one thing. He's like, all right, counts for both.
Oh, that's how my brother.
No,
my brother
I
gets
don't.
me too.
I don't really. I'm not a big gift guy. I just like the cake. You know what I'm saying?
My dad's birthday is in December, but it's like 3 weeks out from Christmas, and he still doesn't really get anything. Or didn't. I don't think he got a lot when he was growing up.
Yeah, it's overlooked.
And I'm not trying to like put out a conspiracy theory, but I think my dad's parents because I think all their kids were born in December. Like my dad and all his
A
siblings.
conspiracy theory.
I think it was like they meant to have that happen, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to. Which is fair.
Oh, they
enough,
timed
you know?
it.
Yeah, they timed it.
That'd be a crazy thing to time.
I mean, because most people. Well, I'd say about 50% of kids are probably timed, and the other 50% aren't. So you know.
How many kids how many siblings does your dad have?
He has 2.
Wow, so 3 kids all born in December. Yeah.
Yeah, and within I mean, not within the same year, but within like a week of each other, I think. Because my dad's birthday is December 6th, and I think his sister's birthday is December 1st, and then his brother's is December 8th, I think.
Oh yeah, they
So-
definitely. I think you're right, Josiah.
Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know, but I don't want to ask him that. Actually, that's probably he won't want to answer that. But I want to ask him did you ever talk to to our grandparents about that? If that was like planned, he's not going to answer that. But yeah, well, I'm sorry now. I feel like a jerk because we were talking about my birthday and like our group chat and all that for a while, and we never talked about yours. And I feel like
No, I purposely don't say my birthdays because I don't like my birthday.
Yeah.
Now we all know.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah. You know who else was born on October 9th? John Lennon was born on October 9th. Did you know that?
I looked.
Oh, you did know that?
I was a huge John Lennon fan back when I was
nice.
little, so I always would be like, "I'm John Lennon."
Yo, nice. Yo, his son was born
You
on
sound just
October 9th
like him,
too.
yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I wonder if he would plan for that.
Huh.
That'd be cool.
Wow.
You know, shout out to John Lennon.
Yeah, shout out to John Lennon.
Shout out to him. You were the only one of us who was alive for 9/11. Did you know that?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was.
So what were you doing that day?
Well, I was probably playing some building blocks. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You weren't.
I looked at the TV.
No one yelled like turn off the TV.
Okay.
No one yelled that to you.
You know, maybe they did. Maybe I was looking
Yeah.
up like.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Well, that would be cool at all. But it'd be
That would
kind
not
of
be
if
cool.
someone tasked you as 9 months old to turn on a TV, then and you could do it.
couldn't. Yeah, if I could do it, I'd be Einstein.
Yeah, you'd be little Einstein. Yeah.
Baby Einstein.
Yeah. And how come you were alive? So why weren't you at my birth? You know, why weren't you there?
That's weird to think that I was stumbling around while you were just a little.
It's kind of weird because we're all
Amoeba.
basically. Well, I feel like Jack feels older than us just because he's the closest thing to a leader here. Yeah.
Well,
I would
just
follow
older.
Jack into anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything.
He was the leader of 560, I would say. He's the one who bought the poster of the
Of the wolf.
Oh yeah, the wolf, the Game of Thrones wolf. That
Yeah.
was fun. That was fun.
So it's kind of weird because now, besides that, we're all basically with it, give or take a year or so, we're all basically the same age.
Yeah.
Except the funny thing is that when I was 2 or something, Jack was already 4 and he was super advanced.
I was rolling around.
Yeah.
In my Bugatti. Wait, so, Mikey, you'd follow me into battle?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think we all would.
Well, all right. That's noted. I'll
If
take
you wanted
that
to go
side.
hike on the Palouse right now, I'd be like, Why not?
The thing is, I know this is like the name of the show is just the Josiah show, but I'm just gonna be. I think you're the main character.
That's not true. That is not.
I feel like you're the main character. When I only talked for like 20 minutes, nearly uninterrupted, because I had a story to tell. When you have a story to tell, you can do that too. So, but yeah, that was. I don't have anything else to say about my birthday or whatever. We can move. So,
What's your favorite? Oh, sorry. What's
no,
your
go
favorite cake?
What's my favorite? I like
Flavor.
I like a good ice cream cake. Does that count?
Ooh,
It's pretty good. That's what I had for my
interesting
last
choice.
birthday.
What type of ice cream cake, like
Pass
flavor
on.
I got
wise?
this nice Reese's one. It's pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You are a peanut butter guy, aren't you? Because you got the peanut butter one at that one store, that cake. You ate it in the car.
No, that wasn't a peanut butter one.
Oh, that wasn't peanut butter?
That was a red velvet one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I put ice cream in my cake. You know I don't have with ice cream.
Yeah, so that was what my birthday was pretty good, you know. I mean, well, my actual birthday was yesterday, and it was just a normal. I just went to work, and
Happy
that
birthday.
was about it. I appreciate it. Thank
Wait,
you.
you said it was too late. We could still sing it. It's still
I
fresh.
would sing it.
We'll do that at the end of the show.
Okay,
So-
at the end.